What if I told you that you could have a functional mob switch up and running in 3 minutes? And not just in 3 minutes, but within 3 minutes of starting a new world. In a recent video, IanXO4 showed off a new mob switch concept, which uses the fact that mobs in lazy chunks count towards the mob cap, but don't despawn. Ian's concept mainly makes use of portal chunk loading to create permanent lazy chunks at remote locations. However, there is one other place with permanent lazy chunks, the region around the spawn chunks. Since the region of chunks loaded around the player is typically much larger than the mob despawn sphere, mobs will usually despawn well before they get unloaded by the player. However, one neat trick allows us to get around this. By turning the player render distance down to 2 chunks, chunks can be unloaded by the player without the mobs inside them despawning. This means that simply by running along the spawn chunk border with render distance set down to 2, mobs will spawn around the player but then get trapped in the lazy chunks, filling up the mob cap and creating an effective mob switch. This can be done in as little as 3 minutes after starting a new world. Unfortunately, there are a few downsides to this method. Firstly, while the vast majority of the mob cap can be filled up easily this way, it is very hard to fill up the mob cap completely using this approach. Secondly, it requires being able to set the render distance, making it impossible on most servers, and may be considered cheesing by some players. An alternative to this method, which doesn't rely on changing render distance, is to force mobs to only spawn within the spawn chunk lazy chunks, for example by having the player AFK high in the sky, and then have the player teleport to a sufficient distance away instantly, either by ender pearls, by portals, or by suicide. However, all spawn chunk based lazy mob switches suffer from the same issue, which is that they effectively ban players from a large area around spawn to avoid hard loading the mobs in the mob switch. This can be difficult to achieve on all but the smallest servers. They also can't be toggled on and off easily. Despite these drawbacks, these spawn chunk methods may be especially useful for making early game and or low effort mob switches. Check out Ian's video if you're interested in more robust designs, or if you're just interested in learning more about the mechanics. All links will be in the description, along with any updates and any other useful information. Make sure you check out this, as there will surely be developments on this concept, which you'll want to know before you start building. Please note that these designs were conceived collectively by a number of users on Ian's Discord server, and especially big credit goes to MadMan25. I claim credit to these designs only as part of that collective. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll leave you with a clip from MadMan25 showing how to perform this trick.